In this episode we returned back to Cherbourg and decided to visit the metal fabrication facility where Chloe was being made.
While hanging out in Cherbourg, we happened upon a bicycle race. It was a circuit running around the city. It went on for about 5 hours, so I'm not sure how many times they went around the city, but it must have been quite a few.
Because I can't pedal very fast. And the frame would probably buckle under my ass.
On va prendre les yeux sur la ligne et puis on rock, notamment à l'égard de ce groupe de tête. Aucun temps mort ce soir, que des 2 jours de Valogne, notamment avec Johan Plus.
We're off to the Garcia metalwork shop, and we'll see some of the boats being welded up there, and we'll see Chloe perhaps in her early phase of life. We were very impressed with the level of precision and the professionalism that was going on in Chloe's fabrication, and along with all her sister ships. So here is Chloe as she stands today, a series of computer designed parts ready for assembly, and over the next few weeks she should start to take shape like her sister ships. So here you can see a number of the Garcia boats midway through their fabrication process, and you get a great sense of their design quality and the sheer strength of these boats as you watch them being realized. So we're planning to return back to this facility in about 2 months to see how Chloe's coming along.
Trying to get a little bit of sunshine and a place to eat lunch.
Le saucisse et du pain, c'est parfait. Dawn, look at the boats rocking. These are the classic rocks to hit when your engine fails and you're on a lee shore and storms got ya. These are the bunkers for gun placements to defend the tip of France. There were several bunkers here installed by the Germans that housed the 5.5-inch guns pointing in different directions to protect the Normandy coast from Allied invasion.
I was really excited when we reached Harel because that was the place we had reserved a spot to go sand sailing. It's a place where you can take these sails out on wheels and ride around the beaches and ride with the wind. But sure enough, when it came time for our time to go, the wind died down, so we decided to take a pass.
The sport might be a lot of fun though if the wind was blowing at 30 knots.
We are here at La Pointe de Gruoin.
Here's some wildlife that we can see here. And how do you pronounce that in French?
Out at the point, and it's probably the prettiest coastline we've seen since we left Cherbourg.
St. Malo is a pretty little tourist town. It's also a ferry town, and you can ferry directly to the UK and to Portsmouth. And it's a walled city, which has quite a bit of history, including piracy and friendly fire in World War II. After St. Malo, we drove to the south end of Brittany to Lacroix. Lacroix, of course, sold salt from Guérande, but also was a touristy peninsula, which is a great place to sit out and have a coffee.
Very touristy.
And we drove around the peninsula in about 20 minutes. It was quiet, beautiful, and had lots of places for good walking. we wanted to take you inside the supermarket to show what we really liked about the markets.
We're in a French supermarket in Marseille, which is a sort of middle-sized one, and we're going to do some shopping before the week.
We happened to be shopping on a Sunday, but we had to make sure to get there early because most of them are closed on Sundays, but this particular one was open until noon. There are many different types of markets, from local markets to hypermarkets, but you could always count on a few things to be available at each type. The deli section always has a really good variety of meats, a lot of them marinated, and local cheeses. The produce section was my favorite. You could actually smell the fruits as you walked through the aisles. Some fruit had multiple different types you could purchase, like pears and strawberries. There were about 5 different types of strawberries. Each store always has a major selection of ham. Each ham packet has typically 2, 4, or 8 slices in it and can be smoked, salted, rind on or off, and a whole lot of other options. The cheese section was another section you could always count on being quite large. In addition to the deli area, which had the fresh local cheeses, you could also get prepackaged cheese and cheese from other regions and other countries. They didn't have a lot of cheddar, but they always had a Gouda and a Emmenthal, but mostly they had herbed cheeses, particularly Chèvre or goat cheese, as well as many varieties of Camembert and Brie. Continuing on with their love of dairy was the yogurt section. There were 2 full aisles of different types of yogurts. The new types I saw that were interesting were fig and rhubarb. And normally I'm not a huge fan of yogurt, but any type of yogurt that we buy here is absolutely amazing. It's made with all natural ingredients and tastes very, very real. They also sell a large selection of compote next to the yogurt, which I put into the yogurt. It's apples, cherries, strawberries, blueberries, and other fruits. In spite of all this incredible food, I rarely ever see a French person that's overweight. And I think that's due to the fact that the food is more natural and less artificial. I see much less sugar. There's none at the checkout aisles, and only a little bit down the cookie aisle. And the portions seem to be smaller in general. Now that we've stocked up, we can continue on to the cottage that we've rented for the week and relax and check out the Bordeaux and Cognac areas.